Hey, we are about to get started with the local Turlock podcast. I was just looking on YouTube about if you've been following the drama with Velvet Grill over in Modesto. I'm not really going to get into too many details, but basically, the Velvet Grill in Modesto on McHenry there, they have been defying the pandemic orders and having indoor dining being fined $1,000 a day. Now they own $60,000. The city of Modesto held a meeting about that, and they put out chairs, as you can see here, and they said if we run out of chairs, we can't have any more people indoors. It's a pandemic. And then people just kind of were standing in there and were flooding and refused to leave, and they had to shut down the entire meeting and have back to a Zoom meeting. So a little counterproductive and a little bit of small town, neighboring town gossip. But I wanted to share that, and on the local Turlock Facebook page, we have a link to that YouTube video. But for now, we are jumping in with this thing called the local Turlock podcast. We are going to be updating you about what you need to know about trick-or-treating, and we will give you the latest scoops, news, stories, and business highlights for the week. Let's begin with good news. So the good news is that Stanislaus County has moved to the red tier on Tuesday. The worst tier was purple, which is where we were at. Now we're moving up to red. And so that's good news because you hear around in a lot of parts of the country, like the Dakotas are getting hit really hard right now, and we have surges in different areas. And at the moment, right here in good old Stanislaus County, we are doing okay. We moved from the purple tier to the red tier, which means fewer COVID restrictions. The better our numbers are, less restrictions, but then if the numbers go bad again, then it's more staying home. So we'll see how that plays out, especially going into the holidays here, right? And we'll see if we have surges after Thanksgiving and things like that, or maybe people will be responsible and hold Thanksgivings over Zoom. Christmas, that will be a once-in-a-lifetime strangeness. But despite easing COVID restrictions, trick-or-treating and Halloween parties are strongly discouraged in California this year because of COVID-19. Moving on to the wildfire update. Although California's siege of wildfires has quieted, forecasters warned on Tuesday that a fall heat will bring back high fire danger this week. It is most likely that some circuits will be turned off starting Wednesday evening to try to prevent fires from being started by damaged power lines. And so I know we have people from all over, but if you're in a city, like if you're in Turlock or you're in Ceres, things like that, luckily we have TID, but those people who are outside in the sticks, and especially people over there in the Bay Area who, for example, have PG&E for their power, there's a lot of shutoffs because there's those above ground power lines and lots of movement and who knows what happens. So they might have to shut things down because the wind and the power line blow around. That's bad stuff. Now, it is most likely, as we said, that some circuits will be turned off starting Wednesday to prevent fires from being started by damaged power lines. But now that Stanislaus County here is in the red tier, what can we do to either stay there or, even better, progress to orange status? I mean, that would be pretty awesome, right? If we just kept getting better and better. And we're going to mention a lot of different news stories here, and you can find out about all kinds of local Turlock news at localturlock.com. And on the sidebar, we have some things that we mentioned last week about where you can drop off your ballot and track your ballot after you mail it in. And then we also have some updates where if you want to check the air quality's been better lately. So we see here the ash is better, but then the ozone is kind of creeping up there. So sometimes if I go for my morning walk, I like to go and check that first. And then as far as the weather coming up, well, we're at 91 degrees right now. But then this coming week, it'll be about the high 80s. So not quite yet cooling down for those holiday months, those holiday kind of weather that you would normally expect. And we will also talk about some of those scary unofficial ballot drop boxes that have been reported in the election office, including right here in Turlock. There's somewhere, I don't even know where exactly in town, but there is a suspicious ballot drop box, which is not actually official, and you stick that in there thinking your ballot will be turned in, and who knows where that will end up. Scary stuff. And we will be supporting our local businesses, and we'll give you 2 business highlights this week with some COVID-19 numbers and updates. Now, first of all, Stanislaus County moves into the red tier. Really great news, right? Stanislaus County has been given the approval by the California Department of Public Health to move down 1 tier in what's called the Blueprint for a Safer Economy, which clears the path for businesses to expand operations or, in some instances, reopen their doors. Isn't that going to be quite strange and quite, man, it's like earlier this year, right? The primary changes allowed under the state order as Stanislaus moves into this tier include, here's a list. Let me bring it up on the screen here. We have outdoor malls, and other retail establishments can open indoors at 50% capacity. So I wonder if it's been months since I was even at the Modesto Mall, for example. Museums, zoos, aquariums, restaurants, movie theaters, movie theaters are back. And places of worship will be opening indoors at 25% capacity or 100 people, whichever is fewer. So like I assume the house over there on Briggsmore in Modesto, or what is that? Whatever that weirdest side country road is you go on Modesto to cut across. I'm sure they'll be open, right? Even though they're a huge space. Then gyms, fitness centers, hotels, and lodging will be opening indoors at 10% capacity, and then personal care services will be opening indoors with modifications. So personal care, I'm not sure if that means like hairdressers, massage parlors, I'm not sure exactly. The Stanislaus County Public Health encourages the community to continue following recommendations and to get tested if they have been exposed to a person with COVID-19, have symptoms, or have gathered with others outside of their household. Free testing is available in Stanislaus County through partnerships with OptumServe at website lhi.care/COVID testing. We'll bring that website up. That's lhi.care/COVID testing. And we'll have this link and have the other links on the local Turlock website in a few minutes here. And you can go here and you can fill in a form and register to be tested for COVID-19. And then there's Project Baseline where you can find out about that. So it looks like things are finally starting to get organized. The wife went to the CVS pharmacy today on Gear in Monte Vista, and there was a super long line, and she was like, whoa, why are all these people lined up at the drive-through pharmacy at CVS? Well, turns out that there is COVID testing, which is a little bit of an inconvenience, but it's good news, right? More testing is good. Let's move on and talk about trick-or-treating if Modesto B lets us view this without a paywall. Cool, luckily they do. Trick-or-treating and Halloween parties are strongly discouraged in California this year because they present a high risk of spreading COVID-19, according to California Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mark Galley on Tuesday. The new California Halloween guidance suggests that families find safer ways to celebrate. It suggests meeting up for a distanced outdoor meal with up to 2 other households, online costume contests, and drive-in scary movies. Californians are asked to keep gatherings with people from other households relatively small, just 3 households at a time. The state also asks people to stay 6 feet apart, to hold gatherings outside, and to limit to them 2 hours. And I don't know how active you personally are on Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook groups. There's like a Reopen Turlock, Reopen California, and some of them are pretty mean, pretty nasty, saying, well, how dare the government tell me how to do my Halloween and how to do my Thanksgiving and if I can stand inside or outside. But I mean, just do your best, do what you can. And these are just the recommendations that have been passed down to us, and they're just kind of saying, be responsible, because the more careful you are, the more things that can be opened up. But then if we're reckless and if we're pretending like the pandemic doesn't exist, it's a hoax, not a big deal, then guess what? It spreads more, and then they will add to those restrictions. So, I mean, do what you can, do your best. It's a crazy world out there. In more ways than one, right? Because the fall heat wave is bringing California more fire danger. This is on Turlock Journal. California's siege of wildfires has significantly quieted, but forecasters warned on Tuesday that a fall heat wave will bring high fire danger this week. According to the National Weather Service, red flag warnings were to go into effect in much of Northern California before dawn on Wednesday due to high pressure producing hot and dry conditions with offshore gusts. The foremost concern is the likely development of critical fire weather conditions by Wednesday morning, and then becoming even more extreme Wednesday night into Thursday. It is likely some circuits will be turned off starting Wednesday evening this past week into Thursday, and in order to prevent fires from being started by damaged power lines. An estimated 50,000 customers in parts of 21 northern counties would be affected. Scientists say climate change has made California much drier, meaning trees and other plants are more flammable. Now back to getting more local, this is how you can help Stanislaus restaurants, churches, and more reopen faster. Now this guy here is showing off their free testing site. So this is all good news, right? And we finally went from purple to red. Now, life isn't back to pre-COVID normal, and it may never be, at least for a long time, but we're making progress here in Stanislaus County. Stanislaus's infection numbers dipped enough for the Tuesday announcement everyone had been waiting for, allowing us to slip from purple to red. And now that we're finally in the red, because that's a good thing, right? Before we were at, I'm trying to find a map, but we don't have one on this page. We were at purple, but now we're at red, which is better than purple. And the question is, what must we do to stay there, or even to progress to orange status? Now, orange, if we do even better than this, would allow 50% seating in restaurants. That would be pretty amazing. And there is something that just about all of us can do, which is to get tested. So if you want to do your part to help increase restaurant capacity or help schools reopen for in-class instruction rather than distance learning, if you want to increase capacity for gyms, stores, movie theaters, and places of worship, get yourself tested. Proactive testing is a new way we can support our community. The more testing we do, the easier it is to pinpoint the disease and stop it. That's our main goal. To schedule a quick, free, self-administered test in West Modesto, Salida, or Turlock, go to schsa.org/corona-virus/testing. And here's how you can find out who should get tested, where to get tested, with all kinds of different addresses, and then ways that you can click the button and sign up. And this project baseline is pretty cool. There's a whole click, and you fill in a bunch of steps and things like that. Now, back to the scary news. Stanislaus County elections offices issue alert about unofficial ballot drop boxes. Stanislaus County election officials are alerting the public about unofficial ballot boxes and has issued warnings about the use of unauthorized boxes. Donna Linder, the county registrar of voters, said on Wednesday that 3 unauthorized ballot boxes have been reported to the election office. Her office sent the codes section and information from the Secretary of State to 3 churches that were using unofficial boxes to collect ballots. And this is one of those things where if you hand your ballot off to some third party, you don't know if it actually will be delivered or not. So you need to drop off your ballot, mail it in, or put it in the right place, right? That way you can be sure that your vote counts. An October 11th memo to county election offices, Secretary of State Alex Padilla said only county election officials have the authority to establish the location and hours for ballot drop boxes. Stanislaus County currently has 16 authorized indoor drop boxes and 2 outdoor ones for collecting ballots for the vote-by-mail election process. The locations are listed at stanvote.com. Okay, stanvote.com. And if you're looking for the real drop boxes, not the ones that people just made up, then you can go here, and once this loads, there's a whole map. So here you go, and you can zoom in and find wherever the zoom is. I don't know. So there we go, the plus sign. So you can find, based on wherever you are at, how to get to, see, there's like a Syrian American Civic Club, 10 Pin Fun Center has a satellite, Silvercrest Senior Residence, go to City Hall directly. So that's where, so stanvote.com, that is where you can find exactly where to drop off your ballot. The official boxes that voters are supposed to use bear the Stanislaus County logo and the words official ballot box, with instructions translated in different languages. Next up, we want to mention 2 local businesses in Turlock. One is called Turlock Dry Cleaners. They are located at 1581 Gear Road. And if you're looking for professional dry cleaning, laundry, and spot clean for your shirts, jeans, gowns, comforters, blankets, all size area rugs, or hats of any type, you should check out Turlock Dry Cleaners, again at 1581 Gear Road. Let's bring that up on a map so that, because I don't know, sometimes I'm like, what's the cross street with that? So it looks like, if we can zoom in, that this is at, okay, that's the, off of Golden State? What's the other cross street? Okay, so over next to Ballswick's Oil Change. Okay, so Turlock Dry Cleaners has been providing dry cleaning professional service for over 20 years in Turlock and other surrounding cities. They even do professional alteration hemming, sizing, and fixing. And now they add free pickup and delivery within 30 miles from Turlock. And here's some contact information for you. First of all, phone number 209-669-0244. And if you're shy, if you don't like talking on the phone, you can even email them at edvinfarhad@yahoo.com. They're open 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call them to sign up and get a $10 coupon on your first pickup or delivery order. Pretty cool. Next, let's look into Corey's Computer Repair. Now, having a computer is really essential these days, right? Because of the pandemic, working from home, you need to hop onto that Zoom meeting. I'm trying to find a picture of this, the outside of this guy's establishment, but I don't think he has one. I think he's just one of those mobile businesses. So anyway, we'll just leave open some various pictures of him and his computer repair. Corey's Computer Repair. Having some technical issues with your computer? Corey's Computer Repair is at your service. Corey makes sure to deliver excellent service to all his customers with any issues for PCs, printer, or even your Wi-Fi. A certified tech savvy and expert on what he does, he can fix your computer issues efficiently and thoroughly. He is a home-based business, so he caters virtual consultations and in-person visits if necessary. Corey's Computer Repair is open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And here's the phone number if you need help with, like we said, Wi-Fi, printer, computer. That is 573-0134. 209-573-0134. And winding down, we will get to that coronavirus update for Stanislaus County. really good news. Stanislaus County has now gone 30 straight days with at least one report of a COVID-19 death. The total stands at 388 residents. Let me actually pull up the county numbers, since it's not always pleasant, but it's good to see what's happening. So here is what we're looking at for coronavirus in Stanislaus County. So 389 residents now, deaths, and this is according to the Health Services Agency. Stanislaus added 43 positive tests for a total of 17,160 since the pandemic began. The county has 95,000 people now that have tested negative, and 16,500 who are presumed recovered. And on this article from the Modesto Bee right here, they have a breakdown of the positive cases. Looks like we had a slight uptick since last week. And here we go. Modesto has 6,400 positive cases, Turlock 2,300, and Ceres 2,100. The county moved on Tuesday from the purple tier to the red tier, indicating that COVID-19 is no longer widespread, but is still a serious concern. Businesses and other activities have relaxed some of their rules. And thank you out there for tuning in for this week's podcast. Visit our website, that is localturlock.com, to stay up to date on our local news. And you can email me at turlock@localturlock.com. You can visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/localturlock and leave us some comments. Here we go right here. Here is the Facebook page coming up. That is facebook.com/localturlock. And stay tuned for next week's exciting episode. Have a great weekend, and as always, stay safe.